Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be sharing some of what I think are the best weapons for the early game in Stalker GAMMA. If you found this video useful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for future content. If you think I missed a great early game weapon, then come stop by while I'm live on Twitch, link is in the description. Before I start, I would like to say that I typically classify an early game weapon as a weapon which either uses a handgun or historic repair kit, or can be chosen as a starting gun. The handgun kit can be bought from level 1 mechanic traders, and the historic kit only requires basic tools, which can be got in the early game. First weapon is the PP2000. This gun used to be okay but nothing special, but since the 091 patch, this gun has been buffed a lot. It has had its magazine increased to 45 and accuracy increased. The gun also has very low recoil. This makes the gun easy to keep on the head during automatic fire. The main downside is shooting the relatively weak round of 9x19. But this is mainly negated by the ability to land most of your shots on critical points. The wide range of attachable scopes also makes this gun decently effective at range. The gun is available to duty to start with, and can be found on NATO factions. Next gun is a controversial one from my perspective. It is the Mosin. The Mosin shoots 7.62x54, which is an extremely powerful caliber, especially for the early game. It has the ability to one-shot headshot most stalkers in the south with ease. The iron sights aren't bad, and the PU scope isn't the best, but is more than usable to line up headshots. The gun can't be used with AP rounds, which I don't see as a negative really, as if you have a consistent supply of AP ammo, you probably aren't still using the Mosin. The ammo it uses is accessible as it can be purchased from level 1 traders. The reason I see this gun as controversial is it's available as a starting weapon for Warsaw Pact factions. It will cost most of your points, but honestly I think a gun this strong should not be accessible from the very start. If I were to replace it, I would instead have the MP18 from a recent mod as a replacement, as it still shoots the 7.62x54 round, but is a single shotgun. Tell me what you think about the Mosin in the comments down below. Similar to the Mosin is the K98. This is the alternative bolt action for NATO factions. The 7.92 ammo is slightly weaker against stalkers than the 7.62x54, but still gets the job done in most cases. Instead of the PU scope, the gun has the ZF scope, which is a bit weaker. All round, this gun is a slightly weaker Mosin, which isn't bad considering how strong the Mosin is. The 1911 is one of my go-to starting weapons for Warsaw Pact factions. The gun is chambered in 45 ACP, which is a strong pistol caliber, especially when hitting headshots. I also find the iron sights quite easy to use, allowing for more headshots. The gun is even effective against mutants if you have some Hydroshock rounds. The main downside is the relatively small magazine size of 7, and no AP rounds, with the FMJ rounds not having much penetrating power. The 1911 is readily available, being able to spawn on any faction. Another fan favourite, and for a good reason, is the SKS. This gun is chambered in 7.62x39, which is not only accessible early on, but is also powerful. The iron sights are clean, and the gun can shoot relatively fast, being semi-automatic. The main downsides are the 10 round magazine and lengthy reload. It's worth mentioning the SKS Tactical and Molot. Although they are much harder to acquire, they still use the historic repair kit, making them some of the best weapons for the kit class. One gun I have been sleeping on until I tried it out of interest was the OTS-33. The 9x18 round it fires is fairly weak against stalkers, but where this gun shines is against mutants. This gun has a high fire rate and a large 27 round capacity, meaning it can quickly deal with most low to medium tier mutants. Later on, you can rechamber this gun to 9x19, which will do even more damage. The gun has low recoil and iron sights are clean. You can even attach a suppressor that doesn't obstruct the sights, which happens on most pistols. Honestly, give this gun a go if you see it. Two weapons I'll group together is the MP5 and PP19. These two guns are extremely similar. They are both chambered in 9x19 and are easy to control. This is good as the caliber isn't too strong, so you need to land as many headshots as you can. Both guns can attach decent scopes, allowing for medium range effectiveness. The MP5 is especially useful as it can later be traded to Nimble and Zaton for the MP5 Fraser, which is one of the best mutant killing guns in my opinion. The Desert Eagle is one of my go-to pistols, even for mid to late game. Not only does it have extra cool points, but the round it shoots, 357, is one of the most damaging rounds in the game, making it extremely effective against mutants. This gun will reliably one-shot mutants like dogs and two-shot snorks. The new model, added in 091, even allows for some unmagnified scopes to be attached. The upgraded version, the Step Eagle, can attach almost every NATO scope in the game, making for some funny looking combinations. The main issue with this gun is the slow fire rate and low accuracy, but this doesn't matter too much. Newly added to the NATO faction starting loadout is the FiveSeven. This gun shoots one of the best pistol calibers of 5.7x28 due to it having an AP which rivals rifle rounds. The gun has a 20 round capacity and you can shoot it almost as fast as you can click. The ammo is quite hard to buy, but it's super easy to craft if you have gunsmithing tools, as it uses pistol ammo parts. The Shrimp is an alternative to this gun, but was recently changed to use army rifle kit, so it's not really a starting gun anymore. Another new native faction starting pistol is the USP-45. The gun is similar to the 1911, but better in most ways. The mag capacity is okay at 12, and it shoots the 45 ACP round, which is decent against stalkers. Where this gun shines is when loaded with Hydroshock. Hydroshock is very effective against mutants and will deal with them quickly. I'm personally not much of a fan of this gun's iron sights, but you may like them. Last gun to mention is the Spaz 12. I personally don't like shotguns in this game that much, but the Spaz stands out. The main reason being it is one of the only semi-automatic shotguns which is still a historic kit. And it's a good one at that, with a decent fire rate and 8 round capacity. The iron sights are quite hard to use, but the shotgun is mainly used at close range so it doesn't matter too much. It is a pretty effective option against low tier stalkers and mutants. Now for some honourable mentions which almost made the list but have something holding it back. First is the VSS, which doesn't sound like a starting gun, but is available as an option for Monolith to start with. Apart from that limitation, this gun only has a 10 round magazine and the ammo is accessible at level 1 but very expensive. The Thompson on paper seems good against mutants, as it's an SMG which shoots 45 ACP, but in reality, it has a very slow fire rate for an SMG, and the sights are near unusable. Another gun which sounds good in theory is the Arm Cell Protector. This gun has a large capacity of 12 and a decent fire rate, but the downsides are the sights being rubbish and most importantly, the reload taking longer than the lifespan of the universe. If you feel that you can kill all enemies within 12 shots, then go ahead and use this gun, but I typically ignore it. Last honourable mention is the TOS-34. This gun is quite fun to use and is a personal favourite for many people. It has clear iron sights and a fast fire rate, but the obvious downside is only having 2 shots before having to reload. Considering I've done a whole run only using this gun, I don't think it's the worst choice, but it's certainly not the best. So that was some of the weapons which I think are the best for the early game. If you found this video useful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for future content. If you have any questions, come join me while I'm live on Twitch, link is in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.